All right, everybody, I'm here with Shaun and a bunch of folks from Licking Legends, Rich from Disc Golf Recovery, Ohio. We got a bunch of folks out here doing a practice round at Brent Hambrick Memorial in Westerville, Ohio, here at beautiful Hoover Reservoir. It's a gorgeous day, unless a scattered thunderstorm comes. We'll see. Who knows? Shaun, we'll ask him a little bit about his business while we're out here throwing. We met a while back, before the Ice Bowl when I was warming up out here. So we're going to have a good time, show you our shots, maybe some highlights. We'll see. It'll be fun. Let's get started. Everybody ready?
We're ready, dog.
Let's go. All right, and welcome to the booth for some commentary tips for our playthrough here of Brent Hambrick Memorial Disc Golf Course. This is hole 1. A little bit of rough, short and right, and some trees down the fairway. You really don't want to go long on this hole, or you end up over here where Mark's putting from, and it's very obstructed. And there's also thick rough long as well, so you want to try and keep it in the fairway. Get yourself a birdie look on hole 1. Hole 2 is a downhill shot with OB road right, as well as thick rough long and left.
Okay.
Right-handed backhand shots have a tendency to leak left as you're going downhill if you don't get quite enough power, and you can easily trickle down into the trees. We'll see a big left-hand hyzer here from Michael.
Smooth.
And that's a great looking shot. That's exactly what you're looking for.
Isn't it crazy watching lefties throw?
What you're not looking for is to end up all the way up here, trying to take your approach from the hill. And there's just enough slope on this green to let the disc catch edge and roll. On to hole 3. Simple hyzer around the trees there to the left. But as Shaun found out there, you can easily go deep in the trees, and it is jail behind that basket. You don't want to be anywhere behind it. It slopes off way downhill towards the river. And I know Michael isn't happy with this shot, but honestly that's a pretty safe play, and it's an easy par from there. My shot hit an early tree here, so I just have to pitch around, and did that pretty well. And this is what awaits you if you go long behind the basket. Definitely not where you want to go. Really, really tough to pitch out of there. The roots make it hard to even get a flick roller up the hill. And you can see behind the basket as well, just really dense. On to hole 4, the short tees, 361 feet, long tee 505. We're playing from the short tees in this video here. And that's not a bad place to be where Michael went. I was going for a turnover with my thrasher, and I just skied it and got a lucky kick to end up in the fairway. So I'm going to have to try and approach from here with my K1 Berg. And there's major rollaway risk here on the right side of the green. You can roll all the way down to the road, out of bounds, very easily. On to hole 5, and Mark's going to show you one play with a tomahawk over the top of the trees. And that's really close, great shot. You can also go with any number of just simple hyzer shots here. This one's a little too high, and the hole slopes downhill to the left as you approach the basket, so you can leak long past the basket very easily. Shaun's going to show you a completely different route here with a forehand, a little flex line over the top, and this is actually really nice. Right inside circle 1.
There you go, Shaun. There it is.
We had a great group of guys out from Licking Legends with us, as well as Rich from Disc Golf Recovery, Ohio behind the camera, and Shaun Crowe from Cakes to Crowe About. We'll talk to him about his business a little bit later in the video. And we get to see just all the different lines you can take on hole 5. Big Hyzer. Parked. What a shot. Now this elevated basket is really challenging if you're coming from the opposite direction. You can easily end up with 40 or 50 foot comeback putt if you miss that first putt. So don't be afraid to lay up and take an easy par there on hole 5. Hole 6 is 240 feet, par 3. Straight shot down the fairway, a couple trees on either side. And if you can put it down the fairway here with a mid-range or fairway driver, you should be pretty happy, and you should have a nice birdie look there.
Don't worry, there's plenty of holes left.
Shaun's got really interesting technique with his forehand. It's really loose in his hand. And when he gets the angle right on that flex line, he likes to throw really overstable discs. I mean, look at that. Just curls up right next to the basket. And you're pretty safe here on hole 6. You can't really overthrow the hole. You'd have to pump it about 60 feet long to get out of bounds on that road. So
Feel free to tap it. If you put it, just use it.
taking a look at the fairways between hole 4 and hole 7. Hole 7's got a lot of danger down the left-hand side there, and just about everywhere around hole 7 has danger. Right side, you can go out of bounds long on the road. You can go straight long of the basket. The most important thing you can do is land your disc up on the flat like this and just give yourself a putt.
It didn't skip off the edge.
But even with that putt, it's going to be pretty scary trying to avoid going down behind the basket. I've had a shot roll all the way out of bounds past the road. And we're going to see kind of both mistakes made here. This one right down the hill. I don't think it quite makes it out of bounds, but this is a long, long ways to be trying to putt. And if you miss, you can easily go over the hill and do a little seesaw action. That was a great effort from Shaun from way, way down there.
It's that though.
Yeah, that's just a nice layup.
All right, so I'm hanging out here with Shaun.
What's up?
We're taking a minute, waiting for some people to throw at hole 8, I think we're at. Shaun, tell us a little bit about your business. What do you do?
I'm new to the area, came from Oakwood, which is close to University of Dayton. I have a company called Crowe About. I customize in specialty cakes and unique flavoring. And so, like, if your father-in-law, your dad, or somebody you know has a car that they want to be turned into like an edible art creation,
Yeah.
that's the stuff I do.
Yeah, he's got some sweet stuff on his Facebook page. We'll put all the details down in the video description and some little stuff on the screen here. Thanks to Greg in the editing suite for that. Appreciate it. And good to have you out, man.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming.
And please go like, share, help me become the household name of Columbus.
Nice.
Thank you all.
There you go. You know what to do. We'll see you there.
All right, moving on to hole 8. And the danger on hole 8 really lies after you get off the fairway down towards the green. That's a great shot from Mark. He's crashing into the basket there for an ace run. But it is really sketchy. Tons of bushes, tons of thick rough down there. Where Heath played there is not a bad place to be. And I'm just not quite going to turn over my insanity enough to get down there by the basket. So anywhere up on the fairway within about 40 or 50 feet, you should be able to see the basket. And Shaun is just going to fade out a little too early. And that's going to put him in probably the most difficult position with no real line to see the basket. I'm just trying to jump putt to get close here. And look at that slope so quickly and so easy to roll. I end up 25 deep in the basket downhill there.
Somewhat. Flick roller or something.
And Shaun's got nothing from back in there. Woo! Somehow throws it straight in front of the camera. And he's going to invent a little upside down forehand. I'm not even sure what he did there. It was just crazy that it got so close to the basket.
Beautiful putt. I got him.
And I do want to point out, we're just playing a casual preview round out here, so no one's calling foot faults or anything crazy. We're not 100% certain of the tournament OB lines, though that one might be close. Here on hole 9, it's just a straight shot, 371 from the short tee. This is my Castoplast Lots, and I got it about 370, but not far enough left to be super close to the basket. Marks went a little bit deeper there.
Everybody. Maybe. Oh, sorry. Maybe. You got it in your bud. Yay! We can borrow it, guys.
Ooh, that is a nice bag tag. Look at that. All right, we're at hole 10, par 3, short tees, 203. Long tee is a really tough shot, 394 uphill. From the short tee, you just got a little ace run. And that was a little ace run with my Glow Envy there. And we finally have a backhand from Shaun Crowe. And, you know, he kept telling me he doesn't have a backhand, but I think he does. That's pretty solid. Your only real danger here on hole 10 is not committing to your line or grip locking off to the right.
So, compared to playing the Ice Bowl here a few months ago, I think the thing I'm going to struggle with the most in this tournament is the humidity. Can't get my hands dry. Grip locking discs all over the place. It's rough. And we're only at hole 11. So, I don't know. I don't like math, but there's a lot more to go. 15? 16? That sounds wrong. I don't know. We'll see you there.
On to hole 11, par 3, 269 from the short tee. And this is an open fairway, but there are mistakes to be made. And, you know, given what I said there a minute ago, it is incredibly hot. The humidity is brutal. You'll see us get unbelievably sweaty throughout this round. And grip lock there into a bush on the right from Brian, I think it was. And a little grip lock to the left from Shaun. And I cannot stress this enough for anybody who's going to be playing in Brent Hambrick. Hydrate and bring something to dry your hands, because we could not keep our hands dry. Even by the time we got to hole 10, hole 11, it was just already so incredibly difficult to get a solid grip on the disc. And we're even just struggling to keep a good grip here on the putting green. And I mean, look at us, we're already exhausted, and we've got over half the course to go. So it is going to be an endurance test this tournament. Make sure you are prepared.
The webbing of my fingers are sweating.
Yeah.
Hole 12 is another short one, 154 feet, just off to the right. And I get a little bit lucky with the kick there from the bush, not to go down the hill. There is a steep hill off to the right. And if your disc goes way down there, you're in deep trouble. Little flex forehand's not a bad play. Shaun gets within circle 1. That's a good shot.
All right, gents. Who's good throwing with you today?
Too far?
I get too intimidated.
The putting woes continue, and the grip issues continue as well.
Shaun, you missed it because you told yourself.
I think it was the fake clear out.
Moving on to hole 13, par 3, 223. The long tee is a completely different hole. It's a dog leg right around the short tee. So if you're playing in that division, you've got a completely different shot. This would be more like your second shot from the long tee. I'm going to go with the ESP Malta. And now early release after chalking up my hands. And this is not a nice place to be there on the left-hand side.
They skipped over the...
Shaun's going to have the same problem. We're both not going to enjoy this line. It's really important that you stay on the right side of this fairway. There are so many trees on the left. Even just trying to flick a roller out there, catches a low branch.
On your way, man. Trying to, at least.
And Shaun also had some incredible... wow, what a putt. That was unbelievable. Look how far this rolls. I mean, he had 2 rollaways on this hole that must have equaled about 60 feet backwards, which is just unbelievable. Moving on to hole 14, short tee's 272 or so. I think it might be a little bit longer. You just want to get something over that initial hill so that you can see the basket, ideally. Michael is going to throw a beautiful turnover down here, I think, with a wraith.
Somebody tested to make a chalk ball that just fits on here.
And we're looking at Shaun's second shot here. If you come up short, you can see the basket, but it's a little tricky with the hill. You can't really see how far you need to throw. You can't see the bottom of the basket. And once you get out here in the open, you should have an easy approach and an easy putt. This is the only par 4 on the U-Disc scoring. Whether that turns out to be the same in the tournament, we'll see. Hole A is the first of the letter holes. And big turnover shot is an option. Forehands as well. Or maybe even a straighter putter or mid-range shot as well. That's a great shot from Heath. Michael's going to show you the big lefty Hyzer that he's already shown us he has very comfortably. Beautiful shot, parked right behind the basket. And I think Shaun's throwing his justice here. He can correct me in the comments.
Oh, there you go. Win?
That is another great forehand. 4 good shots on this one. The only downside, my big Anheuser Meteor shot came in a little too hot and trickled down here into the trees and left me a really tough putt. We also had a little bit of drizzle going on at this part of the round as well, it seems. Unusual weather day. On to hole B, par 3, 289 from the short tee, 387 from the long. You need to hit that initial gap where Heath's disc went through. I'm throwing an Enigma through that same gap, and that's the gap you're trying to hit. And if you can hit that gap, you've got a birdie look and par at worst, realistically. And you just want to avoid where Shaun ended up there in the thick rough. The rough is really nasty on the right and left of this hole, so you just got to hit that first gap. And I think at this point in the round, I'm starting to get tired, and I'm starting to goof around a little bit, and I'm putting through that V just for fun. Probably not a realistic line to try and take, but that's a good putt from Mark. And we're on to hole C, is another short par 3. We got 3 short par 3s in the woods here. This is 217. Forehand is available if you can find the right line. I caught a left side tree there. Heath is going to go with a little bit of a backhand turnover. Looks like a putter. And that got a ways down there. And then Shaun's going to show you a little bit of a different line as well.
I'm afraid to push it too hard.
And I guess we lost that shot there. Most of the trouble on hole C is right at the beginning of the fairway. On to hole D, another short one, 180 feet. Par 3. This is just a right-hand Hyzer, right-hand backhand. But it is a really tight gap. You've got to kind of push the right side of the fairway and to get, very far down the fairway. Shaun does a pretty good job there and just catches a late tree.
Oh, good.
What a smooth throw. Beautiful.
Beautiful.
If you do hit one of those trees, you usually end up with this sort of straight shot here. I'm going to like to go for just a little flick roller to try and Get down there. Yeah, I got pretty lucky. I avoided a couple trees, hit a little gap, and I get within circle there for a look at par. And Shaun's going to show you how to spin putt, people. I mean, look at this. Oh my goodness. I think he had 3 or 4 of these long little floaty Hyzer spin putts that caught metal. Really impressive. And I also had about a dozen putts that hit low. But if you can avoid the danger on hole D, you should have a look at a birdie. It's a short 180 feet. Onto hole E, this one's 203. And the opposite angle to the last hole, a big right-hand turnover or forehand is probably your best play to try and get a look at the basket. But it is a very tight fairway. And tree kicks can launch you out of bounds over the road or just into places where there are so many trees, there's no line at all. That is a great little flick through there from Shaun. And I think flick is the right term. The way that he flicks his wrist and his fingers there and just snaps the disc out. When it works for him, it works. I'm going to go with a A1 little flick out approach. But again, the lines are very narrow through here. A lot of trees. And I'll bring it up again, the conditions are going to be a factor if you're playing in this tournament. 27 holes at Brent Hambrick and 36 holes in one day at Lobdell. You know, eat your Wheaties, pack an extra drink, be prepared. You're going to get baked out there in the summer heat. It is exhausting. Get some chalk, something to keep your hands dry. Hole F is a 300-foot par 3, 500 from the long tee. Pick your most accurate disc. It's right there. You know, don't grip lock it out of bounds and just put it close to the basket. This is really a must-get birdie after coming out of the woods. You may have gotten beaten around a little bit. This is how not to do it. This is how you grip lock way wide right for no reason.
Holy crap. So wide.
And again, another backhand from Shaun, who says he can't throw backhands, but I give you Exhibit A, circle 1 from 300 feet.
You don't have a backhand.
I say you can throw a backhand.
Go ahead, John.
That was a great shot. And that is just the nastiest spinning. That thing was in all day long.
No way, dude. Get it.
And I thought that putt was in as well. I don't know how that missed, but.
Like when we threw that trilogy challenge, my buddy.
Onto hole G, par 3, 344 feet, slightly uphill, deceptively long. I'm throwing a thrasher here and kind of skied it a little bit, but got lucky, and I'm in circle 2. For the 10th time, Michael shows us a beautiful left-hand Hyzer, a little bit closer.
It's just slightly uphill. It's deceiving. All right, so I think this is the part of the video where we're honest and tell you, even though I'm wearing something different, I'm shooting this the same day as we shot Lobdell many hours ago. And I'm not in, you know, fighting weight or shape, as it were. I am tired. And that's a problem for this tournament, because this tournament's going to be 27 holes at this course and 2 rounds at Lobdell on back-to-back days. So it'll be 27 holes here one day, and then, what is that? 36 holes at Lobdell the next. Brutal. And even the camera is just done. Oh, man.
Such a long day, even the camera's running out of steam there. All right. Now for the approach. Your main hazard on hole G is that long grass on the right, where I just barely ended up in. And other than that, a birdie I would say is a bonus on this one. It's a long hole for most divisions, but par should be a pretty solid score. Moving on to hole H, par 3, short tee's 230, long is 417. Your main obstacle here are going to be the thick bushes just to the right of the basket, but if you do pump it long, you're going to end up in the parking lot, which will play out of bounds. Thumbers can help regulate distance, and that's a good one there. And with maybe his only bad shot that we've seen so far, finds those bushes. And they just, you know, they're really close to the basket, but they really obstruct your shot there. Close putt from Shaun. Great putt from Mark. And that's how you play hole H for a birdie. Hole I, par 3, tricky little turnover shot to the right. And if you overturn it, this is the real danger, is to catch edge and roll right across the road out of bounds to hole A. And even if you end up in the fairway as Shaun is here, there are some low-hanging branches that can really obstruct the line you want to take. Or worse, catch your disc 30 feet away. We elected to just play this casual out of bounds here, so I'm just pitching out from the other fairway. There were some guys over there trying to play, so I wanted to get out of their way. Now, depending on when you start your round and where you start your round, because I believe it's going to be a shotgun start at BHMO, this can be towards the end of your round. And for me, I had almost completely forgotten that we needed to play 15 through 18. So here we are back at hole 15. Short tee's 171. I'm going for a big hyzer over the trees with a streamlined flare. So this is almost a grenade shot. You know, if you've got the shot and you've got a disc for it, it can work for you, but down the middle is probably a better shot that we see here. But there are, in a lot of trees, it's a narrow gap. And here's another thing you can do, kind of tomahawk or overhand over the trees. And both of those high shots did get pretty close. I think Shaun's took a little bit of a kick, so he's playing from the right side around a few trees here. Mine fought all the way down here to the edge of circle 1. And in hindsight, I wish I would have given this a little bit of a jump, because I'm sure it's outside 30 feet, but low it is again. Moving on to hole 16, par 3, 331 feet. This is absolutely not the play. This is a man that's played too much disc golf in one day, and he's exhausted. Your best play is a straight shot down the fairway to get a look at the basket. In either pin location, you can't really see it from the tee, or it's really, really long down the fairway. So throw a nice long straight shot. Get down the fairway, keep it out of these trees, as we've discovered on numerous occasions in this practice round, and I'm sure you have if you've played this course. A lot of these, I mean, just look at what Shaun's looking at. Look at these trees that are in front of him, too. If you had your disc in there, you'd have absolutely nothing. And that's just a grip-locked forehand well past the basket. I know I've said it more than a few times, but fatigue is going to be a major factor in this tournament. I'm confident that the players that come out on top will conserve their energy, you know, hydrate well. Take care of your body, make sure that you're ready to play such a grueling tournament. I'm messing with Rich a little bit on the camera. All right, hole 17, 322. It's a straight fairway, and then you want it to kind of fade or turn to the left.
Yeah.
And the basket's kind of tucked back in there. There's a lot of ways to get there. Mark's going to show you the big high hyzer. He's going way over the top. And then this kind of crashes down to the left side there. And Shaun's got the right idea for kind of a flex forehand. and very nearly hits the line and just catches that last tree.
You want to throw them easy when you're trying.
Still looks like, is that a, oh, I think that's a Cax maybe from Castoplast. I was thinking it was his Justice. I might be mixing up his discs a little bit. Ooh, and that was a good line, but it just caught edge and rolled a little bit when I got on the green. Another low putt. And that's hole 17. On to the final hole, hole 18. Your major danger here is the road on the right is out of bounds, and you get some thick rough on the left that you don't want to be in. Can easily lose a disc in there. We're going to see a lot of different plays, forehands, backhands. This is a Latitude 64 first run Grace. And just trying to pump it down the fairway. At 417 feet uphill, for especially, I think, any of the divisions playing the short tee, this is going to be a big bonus birdie. If you can take a birdie on hole 18, you are going to gain strokes on the field. And same goes, I think, for the long tee at 571 feet. It's a big pump uphill. So I think the whole average is going to average close to par, maybe even over, with out of bounds risk to the right. That's a solid approach there from Shaun. And I'm going to pitch up with my Berg. And that is going to do it for a long practice round. Good luck to everybody playing at Brent Hambrick Memorial Open for the amateur weekend. And good luck on our CTP holes. We've got 10 CTPs, one for each division. So good luck. Hope everybody has a chance to win something out there and has a great time.
All right, guys. That's 27 holes out here at Hoover. Absolutely brutal. We played like garbage. I could say for myself.
Most definitely.
I think you'd say it for yourself. The humidity is intense.
No excuses, but it did.
Yeah, absolutely. We're beat, but hope you enjoyed it. Hope you picked up a few things about the course that you can help you out, see where the baskets are located. I think they're where they're going to be for the tournament, so hopefully that's useful. Also, shout out to Rich, again, from Disc Golf Recovery, Ohio, who filmed all the shots today. That was super, super nice. So thank you, Rich. All right, don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out Shaun's cakes. Appreciate it.
Crowe About.
Boom. See you in the next one.